Welcome to Scone Bake and Beyond. Hi, I'm Kathy, and I enjoy making scones, muffins, cookies, and all sorts of delicious baked goodies. It's fall. The leaves are changing colors, they're falling, the pumpkins are out, they're in season, so I think it's time for me to share with you my recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip cupcakes. These cupcakes have chocolate chips, and I use milk chocolate chips in the cupcakes, so they're filled with milk chocolate chips. And then I topped it with this delicious pumpkin buttercream. And of course, I have to put the little mini chocolate chips on top, just because they look so cute. I think your family, your coworkers, your kids, anybody will enjoy these cupcakes this fall season. So let's bake. So the first thing we're going to do is put our liquid ingredients together. So I have here 2 eggs, and they are at room temperature. Whenever I make cakes or cupcakes, I always let the eggs come up to room temperature. To that, we'll add 1/3 cup of vegetable oil or canola oil. We're going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and when you measure brown sugar, you want to make sure to pack it into your measuring cup. So this is 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. And 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to whisk these ingredients together until it's smooth. We're going to add 8 ounces of pumpkin puree. You can either use your own pumpkin puree or you can use canned pumpkin puree. So we have 8 ounces of pumpkin puree, and we're going to whisk that in. Now that we've whisked it together until it's smooth, we're going to set this aside. So now let's get our dry ingredients together. I have 1 cup of unbleached flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1½ teaspoons of pumpkin spice, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're going to whisk this together until it's combined. Okay, now that our dry ingredients are whisked together, we're going to add them to our wet ingredients. And I'm going to put them through a sieve. There we go. There's all the dry ingredients. So now we're going to add 1/2 cup of milk chocolate chips. I like using milk chocolate chips with pumpkin. I just think it's a better flavor with pumpkin rather than semi-sweet or dark chocolate chips. I think they're a little bit too bitter with the pumpkin. So I prefer milk chocolate chips. And we're going to just kind of mix them up with the flour before we actually mix everything else up, just to get them all coated with some flour, and that will help them from sinking to the bottom of your cupcakes. And now we're just going to mix all the ingredients together. Okay, we just mixed this until it's combined and smooth. We don't want to overmix it because it will affect your cupcakes. So I have here a 12-cup muffin tin lined with cupcake liners. And I like using a scoop, but you can use a spoon, or you can just kind of pour it in, or just use the spatula there. But I like using a scoop. And what you want to do is you want to evenly distribute all the cupcake batter into your cupcake cups. And there'll be about 3/4 full. There's the last one there. We're going to bake these at 350 degrees for about 18 to 22 minutes. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, and they smell so good in the oven, and they look great. Look at all the little chocolate chips you can see right up on top. We're going to let these cool completely, and we'll make the buttercream and get them frosted. So while our cupcakes are cooling off, it's time to make a wonderful, delicious pumpkin buttercream. So I have here 7 ounces of pumpkin puree, but it's a little too liquidy, so we're going to put it into a little tea towel here, I have here. And we're going to get as much moisture out of this pumpkin puree as we can. I found it a better method of getting a better buttercream, because if I didn't do this, the buttercream was always just not quite the right consistency, always pretty loose. So we're going to squeeze all the water out of this pumpkin puree because that's way too much water for our buttercream. When I get done here, we'll have about between 1/4 of a cup and 1/3 of a cup left of our pumpkin puree. Okay, here's all the liquid I got out, and here's the remaining pumpkin puree. And it's about between 1/4 of a cup to 1/3 of a cup, and it should be pretty thick now. But that's a lot of water that you don't want in your buttercream. So now let's get started on the buttercream. We have 2 ounces of cream cheese and 4 ounces of room temperature butter. And to our butter and cream cheese, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. We're going to put the mixture on medium-high speed and beat it for a couple minutes until the butter, the cream cheese, everything is nice, light, and fluffy. It's nice, light, and fluffy, so we're going to add our pumpkin puree that we got all the liquid out of. We're going to add that in, and we're just going to blend that up on medium speed until it's just totally combined, a little bit fluffy, about a minute. Okay, it's nice, light, and fluffy, so now it's time to add the powdered sugar. I have here 4 cups of sifted powdered sugar. We're going to add it in 2 stages. So we're going to add half of this in and beat it for about 5 minutes, and then add the second and beat that for another 5 minutes. We're going to start this on low, and then we'll bring it up to medium speed and beat it for 5 minutes, because you always want to start this on low, otherwise you'll have powdered sugar everywhere. Okay, it's been another 5 minutes, and it looks so nice, light, and fluffy. Doesn't that look just gorgeous? Now at this point, you have to decide, is this a little too thick for piping, or is it too thin? If it's too thick, I have a little bit of milk here, but actually this looks really good right now, so I don't think I'm going to use any of that milk. But I always have a little bit of milk and a little powdered sugar ready to go, just in case the consistency isn't quite ready for piping. So we are good with this. That looks wonderful. So I have a 16-inch piping bag, and I have fitted it with a number 1M tip. It's about a 1/2 inch. Get back down there. There we are. It's about a 1/2 inch in diameter, and it's going to make a pretty design. That nice little star design there. It's going to make a pretty design on our cupcakes. So, and I always take the bag and kind of fold it back because I get a little sloppy, and that way it always stays in the bag. So we'll put our buttercream in here. There we go. That's everything. And give it a little tap down. So it gets down to the nozzle. And what we're going to do is we're going to twist this around. Hopefully you won't get it started too quickly. There. We're going to take our cupcake here. What I want to do is I want to go around the inside and then around the perimeter and keep on swirling it all the way up to a nice little point. And we're going to do that to each one of them. There. Don't those look wonderful? But they're not done yet. We need a little bit more chocolate chips to them. So we're going to add these little mini chocolate chips. Now I do find these only in the semi-sweet, so I did not find any milk chocolate little mini chocolate chips, but we're going to add little mini chocolate chips to each one of those. That way they know that these are pumpkin chocolate chip cupcakes. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on, and they land where they land. They look wonderful. They look so cute with all the little mini chocolate chips on there. So we'll take this one right here, open it up so you can see. Oh, look at all those chocolate chips in there. This is going to be so good. All right, so now I got to take a bite. Oof. Take off the paper here. See if I can do this without making too much of a mess. I don't think so. Oh, there's so many chocolate chips in there. Mm. Mm. The pumpkin, the chocolate chips, pumpkin and chocolate go so well together. You and your family are going to love these cupcakes. You can make them for your kids, for your coworkers, just for your family, or just for yourself. They're so good. For the complete recipe, please go to my website, sconebaking.com, and there is a link below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for future videos. I hope this recipe inspires you to bake. Thank you for watching.